Welcome back to Monster Hunter World. And we've made a couple of changes at the beginning of this episode. Milo has for sure gotten a makeover, and so have we. Our makeover has been completed. We now have a new armor. I want to go over this armor because it's very crucial to longsword and just in general. So, I've changed almost everything that we're wearing. I got the Legiana helm, the Legiana mail, Odogaron's coil, and his pants, and I actually created a thing called the Master's Charm, which gives us 1 level of critical eye. Very important skill, as I mentioned before, with affinity. The problem with a lot of these is the Master's Charm with affinity and the Odogaron coil both require an item known as the Odogaron plate, which is a 1-star carve and I believe 1-star reward item from Odogaron himself, which is an insanely luck-dependent item to get. And the Legiana mail is the same thing with the Legiana plate, and the same thing, you need a Legiana plate, and it was very hard to get. I put a lot of work into getting these items, and you have no idea how much effort and time it took to get all of these items. But aside from that, our armor is fully upgraded. I use armor spheres that I've been collecting to upgrade them, and we're really decked out right now. Going over the actual skills the whole set gives us right now is wearing Legiana's 3-piece armor gives us good luck, good chance of increased quest rewards. I would recommend using this. I would recommend getting Legiana's plate to get this ability before trying to go for Odogaron if you try to use the same setup that I'm going for. Critical eye from our charm and from Odogaron's coil is really good because affinity is a good thing to have. Airborne is just nice if you do ledge hopping and aerial attacks. Evade window is just extra bonus for foresight for longsword, or really any weapon use in general. Quick sheath is especially great for longsword if you try to use the EI slash or EI round counter slash or whatever it's called. So these are all great skills to use with the longsword, and generally, like, Legiana's Blessing is just good to use right now. Crit Eye is just good to have on really almost everything. Evade window is just a good skill. Quick sheath is good as well, but it's especially good for longsword. So with that, we can now actually head on an expedition to the ancient forest to search for the first Wyverian clues. But before that, before we actually officially head to the ancient forest, if you plan on fighting right away in this, I would recommend bringing a dragon element weapon, or if you go for ailment, sleep paralysis, or stun are all great. So any one of those is great. My blast weapon is not the best thing to use for this, but I'm going to use it anyways. But again, with great Gyros, there is a paralysis longsword available to you, and dragon, I don't think there's actually a dragon longsword. There might not be, so your second best chance might be thunder, which I believe is going to be from Tobukadachi. Will be a good choice to use. So those are your options, and I'd recommend those if you want to go for a good setup.
You know the drill. Start looking for clues. Let's split up and search. Don't worry. I'll be careful this time.
This is kind of tough because we have to look for clues for the Wyverian. They're actually near the very top of the ancient forest. We do have the delivery that I never actually completed, which requires a mosswine hide. So right in camp 11 is a little mosswine pig that you can kill easily. Carve them, hopefully get the mosswine hide, and that is how you get the item for delivery. Large doodles is not actually what we need to grab, but I'm trying to remember the exact layout of the ancient forest because this can be a little bit confusing to figure out exactly where to go, because we don't have a camp any higher up the ancient forest than where we currently are to look for the first Wyverian. But like I said, it's near the very top. So what I can do, and if you've done the optional quest for Rathian, bring your map to the very top and kind of lock onto the dam, or even like really anything on this third upper tier, because your scout flies will bring you along the path to get to the upper levels of ancient forest, and that is really the best way to find your way up there, unless you just have a very extreme knowledge of the environment, which ancient forest I don't have the best knowledge of because it can be somewhat confusing, at least for me personally. But yeah, that's really what Wyverian is. So With the charm, so far in my tool set, I have the health charm, the attack charm, and the critical eye charm, and they're all level 1. We do not have all the materials to upgrade those to level 2. Those will come later. So if you're ever wondering why I never upgraded anything yet, that's why, because it is impossible for us to. All right, that's the first thing we want. We don't want the doodles. That's for something different. We'll go over way later. But we want these footprints, because this is what's going to track the First Wyverian. So now that I believe I found footprints, I can now track it to the next track. And we're in for a hard fight today, so I would also recommend actually bringing flash pods if you've been collecting flash bugs, or even if you can just go to the Elder Melder and craft flash pods. I would bring those because they're not going to be useful the entire hunt because their effectiveness does have diminishing returns. But your first 2 flash pods are going to be very useful to you, so I would recommend bringing those. I didn't bring any because I'm just not the most prepared hunter, I guess. What? Well, that works. We can grab these gashes. Because there is something else here in the ancient forest, it seems.
Looks like we both arrived at the same place. The trail seems to stop here. Arathalos! Hey, look. Found you.
Yes. You wish to know where you may find the dragon with a mountain of fire upon its back? I possess that knowledge. But you are not yet worthy. Only one who stands atop the food chain. Only once you have conquered the fire wyvern and the horn wyvern that have descended upon the forest and the waste. Only then will you be worthy.
Top of the food chain? Fire and horned wyverns? I guess we're supposed to hunt those 2 monsters. It must be referring to Rathalos and Diablos. Want to return to base and prep?
So yeah, we could head back and start the official quest to fight Rathalos, but since we're here, we might as well try to take him down. I know there is an optional camp nearby. I think maybe we just got the delivery. I wasn't looking at the number. No. No, we do not have it, so it's up here somewhere. We'll look for a moment, see if we can find it, although it might be this way.
I think we could build the camp
Yeah.
here. Let's ask the head honchos.
I never went and found this camp earlier because I knew we were going to be doing this and it was going to bring us very close by to being here. So yeah, now if we just deliver... What would we need just to show you if you're in the field to try to get what you would need now? You would need an Anjanath pelt, so you'd have to hunt Anjanath to do this. So you might not be able to hunt him now, but at least you now know what you need to be able to make a camp near the top. I mean, pretty much at the top of the ancient forest, so there's that. But since we came here outfitted, we're going to try to take down Rathalos. And Rathalos is a very infamous monster for loving to fly. He's probably one of the more annoying monsters in the whole game that flies, if I'm being totally honest with you. So a ground weapon, especially like I know stun is very effective against Rathalos. Like, I mean, it's the other 2-star ailment against him, but your hammer's range is so bad that I don't know if I would really feel comfortable recommending that weapon to you. I mean, even the longsword's not going to be very good. If you can get thorn pods from monsters or in the field, those are great to shoot Rathalos in the head because that can knock him down to the ground. Very effective. And with the clutch call, it is kind of good because you can just try to clutch him. Oh, apparently there is an Anjanath here in this field on this mission. So yeah, there you go. If you wanted to hunt Anjanath in the field to get that pelt and make that camp, then boom, there you go, baby. Yeah, and this is going to be an annoying part with that Rathalos. Because he flies around, our scout flags are going to have a hard time tracking him down until we can at least aggro him. Once we aggro Rathalos, he won't be as annoying to track down because he'll stay relatively near us. Or move in just sectional fighting like he's supposed to. But yeah, it's finding Rathalos initially that's going to be the most annoying nonsense to do. Because look at this. Look at this stupid guy. Just flies around. Like now he's back up there and we don't have any fast way to get up there. So I'm going to eat. Because this is going to be very useful to me to just have my stamina kept a bit higher from being out in the field for so long and having higher health. Because as the First Wyverian mentioned, Rathalos is near the top of the food chain, so he's not going to be an easy cookie to take down. But I think I'll meet you to when I actually track down Rathalos, because this is going to be a lot of running around and this won't be exciting as long as he keeps flying around. So I'll meet you when I track down Rathalos. Alright. We found him. I'm going to quickly just shoot him, just so he aggroes me, because I don't want him to try to fly away. And this is Rathalos. And he's gonna fly. But luckily the Paratoad actually got him. If I can actually, like, hit him. Yeah, Rathalos... Wow, he's just big enough that he's a little bit annoying to hit. My biggest recommendation would be to hit him in the head, because if you do enough damage to his head, it does stun him enough that it will knock him down. So it's good to just upkeep a lot of damage on Rathalos' head, but just watch out for him in general, because his fighter attacks and his just general aerial movement is really hard to deal with, at least for me. I don't do very well with aerial matchups, so this is a very difficult setup for me. When he does fly, like I said, flash pods are really, really good to use because you can shoot it in front of him and it will knock him down. So it's always a great recommendation to use. I'm going to try to keep this damage up on his head. With the clutch call mechanic, you can soften up his head to put on more damage. That is always a great strat. Now I want to try to flinch him into the wall for more damage, but he's gonna, yeah. And also, since this is like near, oh my god, because this is like an apex predator of the ancient forest to fight, getting stronger armor and definitely upgrading it is the single best recommendation I can tell you to do. because it's gonna be way more important than you can imagine. And yeah, I actually totally forgot Rathalos' claws inflict poison if you're hit with them. Well, they can inflict poison. They're not guaranteed. If you don't want Rathalos to fly too much as well, it's also a good thing to attack his wings. If you can break his wings, it'll ground him a little bit. It'll ground him just slightly. Before he tries to take off. And I did switch our Ghillie Mantle to the health booster because I figured it would be more useful. Wow, we're getting manhandled right now. This is bad. Yeah, Rathalos is a very annoying aerial creature. This is not one of my better fights, as you're obviously seeing. But it looks like we damaged one wing, so he's gonna hover a little bit lower to the ground, which is always great. But luckily his feet are still a weak point, so you can always beat into his feet. If I can actually like hit him with anything. And this is Rathalos, man. He's not the most fun thing to fight in the game, at least for me. And it's sad because this is before they made a couple additions to Rathalos for Iceborne. They actually made Rathalos more annoying to fight. He honestly used to not be all that bad, because originally in pre-Iceborne, the flash pods worked infinitely. So what you would do is you would bring 3 flash pods and 10 flash bugs, because you can craft flash pods like in the field with bugs. And anytime Rathalos flew in the air, you would just shoot a flash pod in his face, and boom, he'd fall down. Real simple. But when Iceborne released, they nerfed the flash pod. So the first flash pod knocks them down, but not very long. But they fall down instantly. The second flash pod, they still stay in the air, but they're blinded, so they can't just, aggro you the entire time. And then after that, the third flash pod does not work at all. Like, it won't work at all on him. Like, you'll flash it, he won't be blinded, as far as I know, and he won't fall to the ground. So the flash pods got heavily nerfed, which was good to make fights more dynamic, so you didn't just rely on one tool the whole time. But it made someone like Rathalos far more annoying to deal with, in my opinion, which made him a far less fun fight. Oh, there we go. Knock him to the ground. See, like I said, if you just do enough damage to his feet or break his tail or hit him in the head enough, it does knock him down. He's actually not enraged anymore, so I can try to knock this annoying boy into the wall. That might be bad considering he can just aggro and just be aerial again. But we want to try to break that other wing, which it looks like we did. Get him with a good attack. Yeah, and he'll use a lot of fire breath attacks. But look at that, we broke his tail, which knocks him to the ground again. Once you get a good read on Rathalos' attacks and movements, he's not all that bad to deal with. It's really tracking him down and finding an initial strategy to deal with his aerial game. That's what makes Rathalos super annoying to deal with. Ranged weapons are great. Bow guns, heavy bow guns, and arrows, as I mentioned prior. Really, ranged weapons are great for aerial monsters, but I just stick with the longsword because I'm a stubborn individual. Ooh, get that blast proc. The blast doesn't build up on Rathalos super fast because it's only a 1-star ailment. Still affects him, just a lot slower. We're getting really lucky with these counters. Well, less lucky there. Oh, we might die. We might die. Yeah, see, he couldn't fly. He tried to take off, but it didn't work for him. We need to get unaggroed and heal. And we need to heal again. I have antidotes with me still. I could still... Alright. That actually works. I wish you would have done that a second sooner so I wasn't so panicked about dying. Okay. So, Rathalos, very obviously... Oh, we need to craft his tail. Rathalos is very obviously similar to Rathian. When he is weak, i.e. almost dead as he is, obviously, Rathalos will go to the very top of the ancient forest in that dam area where we originally encountered him. That's where he's going to run to, and that's where he'll hide. I didn't mention this earlier. Another great thing to do, this probably wasn't where I was supposed to go. No. Okay, I am going to try to figure out where to go. From the Elder Melder, I believe we had the option to meld either barrel bombs or large barrel bombs, or maybe it was mega barrel bombs. Those are great to use as well. It's a good known strat to, like, when monsters get away or they hide or like they go away to sleep or rest. When they're sleeping, to set bombs right in front of their face and then shoot the bombs with flashpot ammo. And since it's a wake up hit, it does double damage. And I know the mega barrel bombs do 250 damage. So like your mega barrel bombs will wake Rathalos or any monster up for 500. It's really great for just racking up easier damage instead of just doing it yourself, because that's 500. That'd be 500 damage. You don't have to do it yourself, which is super awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna go this way. So you know what I mean? How Ancient Forest is like the geometry of it is confusing. Because like I'm looking at the map and it's just confusing to maneuver around. We're not worried about those. Those we'll worry about later. There are other gadgets our Palico can use. That's kind of what that's alluding to. Is like there are other Palicos or Phalines that live in the New World. But we're gonna do that like later, because there will be other tools. But I want to max out the Vigor Wasp spray before we just switch to something else. But we have caught up to Rathalos, who's trying to rest. How cute. Sorry, not anymore. But there is a dam. If you knock Rathalos into it, it'll break the dam, and you can't see it, but he falls down to the ground. Long stun, big damage. Like, he takes a lot of damage from the fall. And we are set up to already attack him while he's down, because we're not nice. Attacking his tail, because the tail is still a weak spot. See if we can get a Helm Splitter. Alright. And that is Rathalos. He is defeated. The other monster we have to take down is in the Wildspire Waste, known as Diablos. So, since we're just gonna spitball right to that, we're actually just going to end this one here upon returning to town. And next time I will meet you guys in the Wildspire Waste, already ready to take down Diablos, who is definitely harder than Rathalos. So next time, let's become the apex predator of the Wildspire Waste.